Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hello, LinkedIn family, friends. My name is Jennifer Hooper, and I am a certified life coach. I work with lots of different people, but I have a special soft spot in my heart for women who are really tired of following conventional wisdom and feeling unsatisfied and unfulfilled in their lives. And they really want to not define, but refine their lives in their own terms. And I'm joined here by Jenn Beninger, who is the co-founder and CEO of Genius Unlocked Coaching Institute. She is my mentor, my inspiration. I've been working with Genius Unlocked for a long time. They are the ones who have issued my certifications. And I couldn't be happier to have Jenn here with us today to talk about something kind of cool and unusual, which is intuition.
Right.
So Jenn has been an entrepreneur for, I don't know, we won't put a number on it, but for a while, right?
18 years. 18 years, full time.
Exactly. Yeah. And now you're running a 7-figure business and have had a tremendous personal journey of your own, lots of growth. And I believe I'm correct in saying that it is your intuition that has led the way.
1,000,000% yes. You could not have said it any better. And Jennifer, again, thank you so much for asking me to be here. I love talking about what we're going to be talking about today. And it really was what changed my life and what we truly instill for all of our clients. And thank you for those kind words that you said about being part of our community, and you are a light in our community. I mean, you participate, you come back to the trainings. Sometimes you're the only one on a particular, like we'll have 5 people in this really exclusive program, and you're the only one of the 5 people. And we're like, do you not understand what you're missing right now? This is an exclusive.
Totally. Yeah.
We have 50, 100, 200 people on calls, and this call is 5 people. And you know who's on every call? You. And someone who puts in the work, who does what they say they're going to do, makes the commitments, are the ones that are going to have the success. So it absolutely does not surprise me in any way, shape, or form how you're thriving in your business, because you implement. And when you asked if this was a possibility for us to talk today, there was zero hesitation, because your community deserves to see what you're bringing to the world and how you've done it. So it is very much a reciprocal relationship. Thank you so much for the kind words, and know that you are 1,000,000% our ideal client, because you implement. And I said, right. Hey, does anybody want to talk about, intuition, or that weird thing, like we're the only gurus in the world that say stay in your comfort zone, and right. You have something set up within like 24 hours, like you are a go-getter. So it is an honor for me to be here, and thank you for sharing your community with what I love talking about.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And we're going to dive into what do you mean by stay inside your comfort zone? What? We're going to in just a minute or two, but why don't you tell us, like, how would you define intuition? What does that mean to you? And what do you tell other people what it is?
Absolutely. So intuition, we really truly believe in how we've lived our lives, and how like I said, I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years, full time, not always very successful. So it's not like I was like my first business, I was like, woohoo. I needed to go through what I deserved to go through. And the learning curve was long. I don't want the learning curve to be long for anyone else. That's why I will talk about this all day, every day. And the silver bullet, which made me the click, right? I got it, was really tuning in and trusting. And then one more step, Jennifer, taking action on those intuitive hits. So what is intuition? So I'll talk about that. So what we love to share with people is most of you on this line, if not all of you, can identify that you have some negative Nelly voices in your head, right? So you have maybe your ego that, wants to be right, or you'll have your inner critic that'll be like, that didn't work last time. Let's not do that again. The limiting decisions, or your inner child who was hurt, right? You might have some like, I'm scared. So those are the three of the negative Nellies that live in our head right now. So I bet you everyone on this line can be like, yeah, I've heard that before. So then what is intuition? Intuition is the translator, the connector, the direct connection to what you believe is your higher self, your higher source. And to me, it doesn't matter. That can be universal love. It can actually be organized religion. It can be God. It can be source energy. Irrelevant. Whatever you truly believe is your higher self, or your higher connection, or source energy, that is how your intuition is what lets you know how that higher source sees you, right? It is that pure innocence. It is that genius. There's not an accident. Our company is called Genius Unlocked. We believe a genius is inside of you. What happens though is these other three voices, right, Jennifer? They get a little loud. They come out.
What are you talking about? No.
They're a little obnoxious.
Yeah.
They don't ask permission. They just come into our head and just wreak havoc. So then you're like, okay, so sometimes we have to understand what our intuition is not to really understand what our intuition is. Our intuition are not those voices. What your intuition is it is your direct connection to, like I said, your higher self, your higher source, what you were brought into this world at that pure innocence is. And it's to remind you, your intuition is what's to remind you what your true genius is inside of you, and nudge you and lead you on the path to find that genius. So we can all say, most of us, I'll say, I won't speak for everyone, but most of us have said at one point in their life, yes, you've had this gut feeling, whether it led you in a positive way or a negative way. Because sometimes a gut feeling, your intuition could also be like, don't go down that alley, right?
Right, absolutely.
Or your intuition will say to you, no, you deserve to take that next step. Now, your intuition there's two rules. There's two rules that your intuition, that this is non-negotiable. Your intuition is always, Jennifer, always kind. Okay. So if you've got negative, not your intuition, that's your first clue. Yet here's the other thing that is also non-negotiable. Your intuition is not always gentle, which means you could get a little bit of a kick in the pants, right? So how many of you had this intuitive hit and you're like, whoa, that's a biggie. Okay, but it's always.
Oh my gosh, I think that happened before my divorce to my first husband. Like I knew something was wrong. I knew I had no idea what it was. I wanted to fix it desperately. And it didn't matter what I did. Everything, my husband ended up asking for the divorce. My whole life fell apart. So that was not gentle, but it was what I needed. It was absolutely what I needed. And I can thank the experiences for it now, even though it was really hard at the time.
And that's that not necessarily gentle, yet you knew. I knew inside that the divorce was.
I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to look at the marriage.
So the intuition was like,
oh, you're not going to listen to me? Let's blow up everything. Oh, you lose your house and declare bankruptcy and, have your kids not talk to you and all the things.
Yeah. So the intuition, so brilliant story in the sense. Now, some of you may say, oh yeah, I've been there on that. That's more of a not gentle. And then other of you will have an intuitive hit that will prosper you. So for example, Genius Unlocked itself was an intuitive hit. Is my business partner and best friend, Carson, and I were working with another company, and they were going along the direction of what we wanted to do. and we were all on board. Well, that company decided, nope, we're going to completely shift directions. Now, an intuitive hit could have been great, shift with the company. Well, that wasn't our intuition. Our intuition was like, no, the path that you were on is truly what you deserve to be on. And we decided that we were going to leave the last company that we were both working at and start our own. So, and not in direct competition, which was amazing because he went and did his thing and we went and did ours. So that was a positive intuitive hit, right? Because we're like, oh, we're going to prosper. Well, and then we started learning and trusting and moving on the action of the intuition. So to recap, your intuition, you have 4 voices in your mind.
God, that's a lot of voices.
That's a lot of voices. Okay.
Chatter in there.
They're all you. No, we're not sending you into, the movie Sybil or anything like that. No, but you can identify them, right? So you know that voice in your head that you're dug in and you want to be right. You're not interested in anyone else.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Sure.
That was with my ex-husband, right? It's like, no, I'm right. Okay. Well, that doesn't get anybody anywhere. That's not your intuition. Or you'll have that inner voice. That's the doubt, right? I don't know. Some of this, like, I'm not good enough.
What makes you think you're good enough?
I'm not deserving. Yeah. Okay. That's your inner critic. And then your inner child, if you have like, I don't want to get hurt again, or I'm scared. Okay. So here's the good news, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the good news. Those are all part of you and they deserve to be loved. They do not deserve to be told to shut up. They don't need to deserve to be locked in a cage in the back of your mind. You know what those true voices are? Do you really, truly know what they are? They're warning signals. They're warning signs. It's like your gas light coming on in your car, your beep of that annoying beep of, because they can be annoying, of your smoke detector that needs a battery. What those voices are doing is they're actually telling you, go talk to your intuition. That's literally their job. So we want to be grateful for them. Like Jennifer just said, she was grateful for her divorce. I was grateful for my divorce. It's what are you trying to tell me that I'm not hearing? So if we can shift our thoughts and say, hey, look, those negative voices in our mind are just want to be heard, then guess what you do? You go to your intuition, you say, intuition, you're always kind. You always have my best interests at heart. You are a direct connection to my definition of source energy. And you know inside what my true genius is. What am I not hearing from these 3 voices? Do you want to know how to shush those 3 voices up? Ask your intuition to tell you what you deserve to learn. Then they feel heard.
That's been a huge mindset shift for me, is that those negative thoughts and emotions are actually gifts. They are the warning signals to get the higher learnings from. Like, what is behind that?
Yes.
Why is this coming up for me? What else is there that I'm not seeing right now?
Because it's so brilliant, beautiful synopsis, because what so many people are doing, and if some of you are doing this right now, guess what? You now have permission to stop. You don't have to do it anymore. Stop it. Because then if you start blaming and shaming and being mad at yourself for having these negative thoughts and emotions, you're actually feeding them. You're actually giving them more voice, more, it might be counterintuitive. It's not. Think of those negative voices, the inner critic, the inner child, or the ego, as wanting to be heard. Just look at it that way. Okay, something's coming up. I got anger coming up. What does my inner child need to be heard? Then you go to your intuition. You say, what do I deserve to learn? The learnings of which will allow me to let them go and let them be quiet. And I use the metaphor a lot, Jennifer, is if you think about it, like everybody knows the 80-20 rule, right? We apply the 80-20 rule to everything. Well, I'm going to apply it to your intuition. Okay. Most of us, and it was before my work with intuition. And I know, Jennifer, your percentages are a little bit different now because you've been, like I said, implementing like nobody's business. Most of us, before we become fully aware, most of us have about 80% of the talk in our head coming from those 3 voices and about 20% coming from our intuition, those random intuitive hits that we get. Or guess what? If you guys ever hit a goal and you're like, whoa, that was cool. most likely you were following your intuition. It was just so unconscious, you didn't know that's what you were doing. Because if life is going good in certain areas of your life, you're hitting your goals, you're happy, you're most likely following your intuition. You're just not aware of it consciously. So if you have 80% of the negative Nelly voices and 20% of your intuition, developing, evolving, integrating, truly learning your intuition, you can actually turn that bubble upside down where you're
so
only
cool. I love this work so much.
So 20% is the warning signals. Now we don't want it to go away totally, because then we're just clueless and nobody wants to be completely, you're living in denial. Okay. So no denial.
We don't want that.
Because they serve a purpose. The reason people shame and blame and get mad at themselves and try to lock them away in a closet is because they just don't understand the purpose. Now that you, just from listening to this, you at least know that they have a purpose. Mm-hmm. And then your intuition is the translator. The intuition can get out what needs to be heard.
I think when I first came to the Genius Unlocked family, my ratios were like 10-90, maybe.
Fair enough.
I aspire for 80% tuition, 20%, the negative chatter. And I'm in the middle now, I'm still making my way. I'm still growing and evolving, but it's so rewarding. It's such good work.
Right.
Things just keep getting better and better.
Well, and that's the thing, is that it gets shorter and shorter, and you don't have like, yes. I literally, my inner critic probably ran, I used to say 90%. It was so bad, I gave her a name. I was like, okay, that's my Felicia, right? Because I did bye Felicia. You guys know that I did that for a really lot of years. I was like, I just need to say bye Felicia. So my inner critic name was Felicia for a lot of years. Oh, and then funny. I realized, I'm like, now I'm not giving her the respect that she deserves, because I was all bye Felicia. No, I needed to learn to listen. So that's like the second part. So we've defined what intuition is. Now, how do we know we're listening to how do we know our intuition's communicating with us? So is that a fair next question?
Yeah, I think that's amazing. Go ahead and answer that for us.
The good news is your intuition can communicate in different ways, right? So some of us are super visual. So if you were to ask your intuition to come out, right, and just represent, like in your mind's eye, just like when you close your eyes, you just have this imagination, you use your imagination, right? Your imagination is brilliant. We want you to use your imagination. Some of you hear, okay? So no, we're not talking like, again, not voices in your head, yet you can hear your intuition. Some of you have that feeling, that gut feeling, and you're like, oh no, I know the difference between my intuition and not. And some of you just know, like you'll just know that, like, I'm supposed to turn right here. And you'll be like, oh, I wonder why I'm supposed to turn right here. That's your intuition. So the good news is, doesn't matter how you hear your intuition. The important piece is knowing that it is truly your intuition. And how do you know that? It's kind and it's not necessarily gentle. Your other voices, they're not talking nice things to you. Your negative self-talk, that's not your intuition. They come out without asking. They're boisterous, they're loud, they're pushy, and you don't necessarily feel good. Like if your ego's talking about you digging in, you have that knot in your stomach, like, I'm going to win this argument or something along those lines. Or you have that, the anxiety or the fear in your stomach. Your intuition, it may feel the same, because anxiety and excitement may feel the same in your body. So you want to ask, okay, is this anxiety or is this anticipation, excitement? That's a good thing, right? So it's amazing. And so Jennifer, can I give them a tip on how to practice?
Yes, please.
Okay. So this is a tip. This is how you can practice listening to your intuition, is ask your intuition for small, undeniable experiences. Like literally say that to your intuition. I want an undeniable experience of an intuitive hit. And it doesn't have to be major. It's not like, oh, do I get a divorce? Because I know we were talking about divorce. You don't have to start there. Okay.
Don't start there. That's a big one.
What's for dinner? Okay. Or, should I, what should I work on first for my business, or whatever that is? Then pay attention to how you feel. So you have to do the work, people, because you're making it unconscious and you're bringing it conscious. So it's going to take a minute. Okay. It's not always going to be this way. So ask your intuition to give you an undeniable experience of an intuitive hit. Then you have to pay attention. What does it feel like in my body? Some people get it up here. Some people get it in their gut. Some people, they get a twitch in their head, whatever. Or visual, or auditory, or just a knowing. But then here's the kicker, ladies and gentlemen, then you got to take the action.
And that's where a lot of people go wrong, because they don't trust that nudge to take that right turn for whatever reason. Like, that doesn't make any sense to the logical mind. What do you say to those people? Yeah.
No, beautiful. So this is developing, right? First, you got to discover that you have your intuition. So you're going to discover it. Now you're going to evolve it, and you're going to start trusting it. So that's why I'm saying start small. So then you can start knowing, feeling, seeing, and hearing your intuition. So start with the, do I turn right or left here? Take the feeling in your body and then take the action and be like, yep, that was my intuition. What did that feel like? Oh yeah, you know what? I realized I was trying to I was rebelling against what Jen and Jennifer asked me to do. And I just wanted to be saucy. And I realized that wasn't it. Okay, well, guess what? Now you know what it feels like to be saucy. So it's about paying attention. It's about taking what you do unconscious and bringing it conscious so that you can duplicate your results. And it's not hard. It's just, now you're like,
it's a practice. That's really what it is. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
That's doing it over. And what I've learned, like for me, I am not visual and I am not auditory, but I am a feeler and I am a knower. Like I could just get a thought like that. I don't know where it came from. I'm like, okay, there it is.
That's right.
Or I'll get like a chill down my arms. Like I feel that in my body. That is like a confirmation for me that I'm spot on.
Absolutely. And you start so here's the deal. Your intuition, ladies and gentlemen, has always been communicating with you. Always. It is always is giving you the little push. So it's whether or not you trust it. So some of you might trust it and be like, yeah, that's my intuition. But then you don't do anything with it because you're like,
that's right.
I know that's my intuition. And yeah, no, I'm not ready for that. Fair enough. Yet my challenge to you is do it anyway. Just do it anyway. And that's going to lead us in a minute into why we say stay in your comfort zone. And some of you will be like, well, that's outside my comfort zone. Well, is it?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that in a second. Yet I want to make sure that I've answered all, what Jennifer, wants me to share with her audience is, what is your intuition? How do you know what it is? And then how can you develop it and grow it and move on it? And that's why you ask your intuition to show you an undeniable experience and then make it small at first so you can actually follow it and do it and then associate and connect with that feeling, that knowing. We do an exercise, and something I'm going to share with you at the end of this talk. So we do this exercise in one of our programs where we actually have your intuition give you a signal for yes and a signal for no. And then you go and test it for a month. So you really solidify it. And then things just start happening like this. And then it's just a matter of, are you going to take the action?
Yes.
That's the kicker, people, I'm telling you.
Oh yeah. Because if you don't take the action, then nothing's going to change at all. So before we get into the stay inside your comfort zone, my last question is really like, what would you say is missing when we don't act on our intuition, when we ignore it, when we don't listen to it?
This is a beautiful question. And I realize I do, podcasts and interviews and stuff like this. And I realize I don't think anybody's ever asked me this before. And so this is why you're thriving in your business, Jennifer, because your brain thinks like this. Because you're right. It's like, what are you missing? What you're missing is what you're asking for. I mean, I know that's a little like, whoa, that's like high level right there, but think about it. What are you asking for in your life? Are you asking for a certain career? Are you asking for money, a certain amount of money? Are you looking for a certain amount of health? Are you looking at a certain type of a relationship that you want? Are you looking for connection spiritually to you want? Are you looking for connection to yourself? Like, what are you asking for? What are you saying to the universe? These are my goals. Some of you actually do it in a goal setting. Other of you are, I wish I had. What are you asking for? That's the first step, because when you're not truly developing and involving and integrating your intuition, what you're missing is how to get what you're asking for. So there's a disconnect, because you ask for it, but then when you get the intuitive hits to get you what you want, your other voices come in and wreak havoc. That's not real. That's not really.
And that's why you never take the action to get closer to what it is that you're trying to invite in.
Because you're confused. You could be confused. You could be like, okay, well, is this my intuition or not, or whatnot? That's why it's imperative that you start practicing and learning how your intuition communicates with you. And also, the other thing that you're missing is ease and effortless in your life and the answers that you want. So maybe it's not even about goals that you're looking for. Maybe it's just, I want to have more joy in my life. I want to have more fun in my life. I want to have more time. Time is a big one. Time with my kids, time with my family, time with my spouse, time with my friends, time. Time. It's like the number one thing. It's money and time.
Yeah.
Great. You want money and time? Follow your intuition, because your intuition is going to drive you to where we all have the same 24 hours in a day, unless there's something I don't know. But from what I understand, we all have 24 hours in a day. Yet how come some people fill theirs with so much joy, and how come some people feel theirs with so much anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, shame, betrayal, depression, negative emotions? I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy, because our other three voices, we're not listening to them.
Yeah.
If you want joyful life, you want easy and effortless life, if you want to have ease and inspired action, it's all in your intuition. Your intuition's job is to get you to understand what your true genius is and take you on the path to obtain it. The other three voices are to get you to get the learnings on the way. So it's not an either or. We want to integrate them. We want the three voices to tell us what they need to hear, and the intuition to have the answers. And then we're moving in the direction of what we want in life.
God, I love this so much, because it just makes so much sense to me at both the conscious and the gut level. It's like, oh, I get all lit up inside. Like, of course, this makes the most sense. And I'm like you, I've been an entrepreneur for a while and struggled for some of those years. And really, it's when I became a part of the Genius Unlocked family that things have really started to click and make sense for me. And part of the reason is because of your comfort zone. Other coaches, other, conventional wisdom says, get outside your comfort zone. But that's not what you say. So what do you say? And tell us why.
Okay.
This is so different.
And it's different. And it really, to me, it makes sense again. It's like, wait, what? Okay. So, and I love talking about this. So think about this. Okay. You're in your comfort zone. Okay. And I'm going to use the fear of heights, because this seems to be the best metaphor that seems to apply, but this applies to anything. This does not have to be fear of heights. It could be anything that, for your business, for your health, anything at all.
Like if you want to be a public speaker, or you want to start a family, or
anything,
find the right relationship. Yeah.
All 9 areas of life. Okay. Yeah. You want a better sex life. That's right. Okay. It's like, seriously, I mean, it really works that way. So what conventional, like you said, gurus or whatnot, is like, step outside your comfort zone. So here's what's happening. What we here at Genius Unlocked, we very much care about the science and what's going on inside the brain. This is not just like we woke up one day Carson has a master's, I have a bachelor's in psychology. It's like, we did not just wake up one day and start making stuff up. We have been studying how the brain works.
Which is another reason why I love being a part of this community, because it is based on some science. It's not all woo-woo.
No,
It's not at all.
No.
Yeah.
It's
But other
on
places can't back up what they're telling you with actual science. And so
right.
Not to interrupt, but I needed
no,
to say.
I love it. And that's important to us. It's important to us to be certified and to know why what we tell our clients, why it works. So why does staying in your comfort zone serve you better? So we're going to say what happens when you go outside the comfort zone. So we're going to do fear of heights. So let's say you have fear of heights. Okay. And you have what's called your neural pathways in your brain. You have been doing fear of heights really well for a really long time, right? You're an expert at being afraid of heights. Okay. You're a pro, your brain. So think about it this way. The metaphor is like, if you're on a muddy dirt road and the ruts that the tire makes, they're really deep and you can't really turn out of them. If your fear of heights is
stuck in the grooves.
That's right. In the grooves. And if you go sideways, it's hard to get out. Yeah. So you're like, okay, what do I do? So you go outside your comfort zone. So you go, and I love skydiving. I do not have a fear of heights, nor have I ever. So I'm going to use this example. So you want to go skydiving. So your coach or your guru or your whatever is telling you, go do it. You shall overcome. Jump out of your comfort zone. You can overcome your fear. Fair enough. Great. We understand why they're telling us these things, but what they don't understand is how that is not serving you. How is that not serving you? Because let's say you go jump out of that airplane. When you're jumping out of the airplane, you are running cortisol like crazy through your body. Cortisol it's a fight, flight, or freeze hormone. You are not supposed to be living in that. So you're running this negative energy through your body. Now, let's say you jump out of the airplane, you have fear all the way down, or before you roll off the side of the plane, or whatever you're doing, however you get out of that plane. Some of you may not even make it out. You're like, nope, I'm good. And you back out. Some of you have fear all the way down. Some of you are like, I can't believe I did that. I'm never doing anything else again. So what it does is it actually makes the groove or the rut in your neurological connection in your brain deeper.
That makes so much sense.
Because you've got you just basically gave yourself a shot of fear. So I don't understand this gets outside your comfort zone. Right. Like why neurologically? Now I get it philosophically when they're like, don't just be lazy. Okay, fair enough. But that we can solve that too. Okay. Because some people are like, well, does that mean, Jen, I can sit on my couch and all my dreams are going to come true? No,
not quite.
What we want you to do. So let's say this is your comfort zone. Okay. This is and inside here is afraid of heights. You jump outside your comfort zone. You jump out of the airplane. You're like, nope, that didn't work. And you've increased the cortisol, you've increased the rut, you've increased the neurological connections. Now you could make that even more of a fear. Okay. Now, some of you will be like, okay, cool. I'm not afraid anymore of heights, but did you really solve the problem? Okay. So here's your comfort zone. So this is what we say. This is what we want you. This is what we encourage our clients to do. This is what Jennifer does. This is what our clients do is we want you to inside your comfort zone, ladies and gentlemen, is all your crap. Sorry. All your crap is inside your comfort zone. So if you jump out of your comfort zone, you're just ignoring the stuff. You're either adding to it.
But it's still there. It's still there.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah. So all your stuff, we call it, okay? Because we might be politically correct here. So all of our stuff is in the comfort zone. What we want, this is what we do with our processes, is our unconscious and our unconscious work, your intuition, is clean it up. Let's get rid of the negative thoughts and emotions. Let's get rid of the limiting decisions of I'm not good enough and I'm not deserving, and get rid of the fear and the hurt and the anger and the shame. And then what happens is your comfort zone expands. And now when your comfort zone expands, guess where jumping out of an airplane is? It's right here. So it's no longer outside, it's inside. But guess what? Now, if you choose to, we're going to say that you've cleaned up fear of heights inside your comfort zone. You've cleaned it up. You've got the learnings. You're like, oh, I'm not afraid of heights anymore. you grow your comfort zone. Now you choose to jump out of an airplane. Now you're jumping out of an airplane like I do. 100% excitement. I don't have cortisol running through or fear running through. I have excitement and dopamine and positive adrenaline, not the addictive kind, but positive adrenaline. And I'm screaming and laughing and smiling as I'm jumping out of the airplane. Now tell me, if you want to go skydiving, which way would you rather jump? The fear of outside my comfort zone and possibly making it worse, or the joy and the happiness of free falling and then seeing the world from above?
So it sounds like to me, those deep grooves, they get leveled out, like for our visual people. Now it's just like a level playing field and anything is possible because those deep grooves aren't there anymore.
They're not. There's no more fear of heights. Now you can expand your comfort zone and still not want to jump out of an airplane. Fair enough. But guess what? You don't have fear of heights anymore. You don't have to have those thoughts, those emotions, those actions of fear.
Right.
You're releasing the negative emotions and limiting decisions. And then my comfort zone is huge now. I don't do stuff outside my comfort zone. I'm like, this doesn't feel good. I don't know. We were on a trip and we were going to go in a cage, literally, and swim in a cage underwater and swim with great white sharks.
Okay. And the cage is good in that case.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to do it. I'm very sad, but I still want to tell the story, even though we didn't, because it was raining that day and they don't go out on the boat.
Oh, okay.
So we were in South Africa and we were going to go, but we were doing both Carson. So I don't like necessarily water very much. And Carson used to have the phobia where you didn't like to be in small places, which we don't say anymore. And we were able to get rid of it. So both of us checked in with ourselves and we're like, okay, we both released, we've cleaned up our comfort zone.
Yep.
Of being in small places and being underwater. So what is this feeling that we're having? And you know what the feeling, we didn't have to do a release. You know what the feeling was? We both, and it was funny, we both wanted to just know, what is it? What are the steps and what does it look like? We didn't actually have to release anything because we've already released the water and the small spaces.
Right.
So it's not like your life's going to be like all rainbows and cherry balloons and cotton candy. We're not claiming that. We're saying you still have to live your life, yet it's more of, instead of us going, we were like, I'm wondering what's coming up for us. Like we were a little nervous, little anticipation. We're like, we watched 4 videos. So we knew what to expect. Bam. Both of us were like, let's do it.
Amazing.
Granted, did you see there's a difference?
Well, it was like you approach it from a place of curiosity rather than outright fear.
You're smart. I think you should want to hang out. You want to hang out more like that?
Yeah, I'll hang out with you.
Brilliant. That's exactly what we did. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think about that. That's exactly what we did. We looked at it as curiosity. We're like,
but you never would have gotten to that curious place if you hadn't cleaned up the old chisel.
It wouldn't have even, because it was underwater for me and in a small space for Carson. It never would have even, and we would have been like, nope, we're good.
Yeah.
And then someone recommended like, this like in South Africa, it's like the best place to see great white sharks. The best places in South Africa. It's where the 2 oceans meet. And we're like, okay, we don't really know what this means. And what it wasn't an automatic no, because of fear. Okay. It was it was a no because of rain, not because of us. Right. So we're like, we didn't let the fear drive our decisions. We said, I wonder what is coming up for us. Intuition. Is this a good thing to do? And it was, go watch some videos so you know what to expect. Watch the videos. It wasn't scuba diving. You had it in your mouth, but it was attached to the top. The cage was huge. We were like, okay, cool, let's do it. That's a huge difference than saying overcome and get out of your comfort zone. And your intuition is imperative for you to know that you can trust yourself and take the action.
I love it. I love it. Now, some of the words and maybe some of the language that we've been using could be unfamiliar to people, like releasing, but you have an opportunity coming up next weekend where people can dive deeper into their intuition and learn more about amplifying it. So can you share that with us?
Absolutely. And thank you for asking, and thank you all for staying on and listening. So we actually have what's called a 5-day challenge. It's 5 days, 90 minutes each a day. I had to be very clear. I didn't clarify in the 90 minutes and someone thought it was 5 like 8-hour days. I'm all, no.
Oh, that would be intense.
My bad. No, it's 90 minutes. It starts on this Saturday. And it's called Keys to Unlocking Your Intuition. And it is exactly to do what we just shared. So what we do is Carson and I do a 90-minute webinar for the 5 days. And then we give you a meditation and some activities to do that day to increase your connection to your intuition. And here's the cool thing. It doesn't matter where you are on your journey of intuition. Some of you are listening and going like, I didn't even realize that I had 4 voices or that my intuition was that thing. Guess what? It's perfect for you. Some of you could be like, no, I've been working on this a little bit. We have tools that will support you. And some of you may be like, oh, my intuition, I'm already on that 20/80. I cannot wait to see how I can take it deeper. So it's anyone that's interested in learning how to create the life that you want, to hit the life goals that you want, and do it with your intuition. So again, it's 5 days, 90 minutes. Then we have a meditation where you go and connect with your intuition. We give you a couple of different activities so that at the end of the 5 days, you're like, whoa, the difference that you'll have with your connection is huge. For those 5 days, and then the meditations. Now there is it is $37. So we do want you to invest in yourself. So Jennifer is going to actually put the link in the comments of this video. So if you're watching this video live, it'll be there as soon as we're done. If you're watching this on the replay, because you didn't quite catch us live, it'll be there in the comments. And it's called Keys to Unlocking Your Intuition. Now here's the coolest part. Yes, you get to hear from my business partner and I, yet more importantly, because you're part of Jennifer's audience, is you're actually going to be able to get coached through the pieces. So it's not just like, here's some videos or here's a live webinar, how do I apply it to my life? No, Jennifer, like I said, is one of our biggest success stories. She implements everything. She is a certified life coach. She coaches our challenges, and she's going to be your coach through these 5 days. She's going to be able to take the concepts that you hear from Carson and I and talk to you individually on how can you apply it to your life. That's another thing.
Not just once, but 3 times over the 5 days. 3 coaching calls. Yeah, I love this so much.
Coaching calls
yeah.
with a master certified life coach who implements what we teach. And so she's part of our community. It's not some random person that you're getting. You're getting someone that's in our community that does the work, that knows what we're talking about, and can listen to you and apply the learnings and support you in applying the learnings to your own life. So I highly recommend that you come hang out with us. Yes, the webinars are recording. It's Saturday through Wednesday, the 25th through the 30th. 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. Carson and I just happen to be in California. So it's the
25th through the 29th.
25th through the 29th. Thank you. 25,
29, that's 5.
25th through the 29th. The 30th is my daughter's 15th birthday. So I've got the 30th on the brain.
There you go.
So that is why she keeps reminding me 11 days to my birthday, 10 days to my birthday, 9 days to my birthday. I'm like, the 30th.
That's your job right now. That's right.
So it's Saturday the 24th through Wednesday the 29th, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. 3 coaching calls with Jennifer, webinar plus a meditation with an activity. So you can actually implement what we teach you. And at the end of those 5 days, you will not even be able to recognize you'll be able to recognize your intuition in a way you've never done before. And it is the silver bullet for you to create the life that you want.
I love it. I love it. I could talk about this stuff all day long, but I know you are busy and I don't want to take all of your time for the
Nope,
rest of the
I
afternoon.
appreciate
Thank
the
you
time.
so much for being here.
My
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it. And
really appreciate
maybe
that.
we'll have you again on another day.
That would be amazing. So Jennifer, thank you so much. Your audience, thank you so much for having the time. Please, please, please tap in, tune in, connect with your intuition, create the life that you want. And we really much look forward to seeing you this weekend on the challenge.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye, Jen. Thank
Bye,
you.
Jennifer.
Okay, ended the broadcast.